Iain White, estate agency guru. Talk to me about where you see the portals in the estate agency industry in 2022 and beyond. Talk to me.
Portals are here to stay. I don't think anybody would be brave enough to predict a life without portals. I think we are seeing now new players coming in who have both the punch and the ability to upset the landscape, which I think is good. I think it's good for the estate agency. I think it's good for the consumer. I think it's good for the technological advancement of the portal world. Because let's be honest, it has not, but lack of competition has led to a very stagnant portal offering. It's just a classified advert, and some of the new guys coming in are genuinely allowing agents to connect with would-be sellers, would-be landlords much earlier in the process, removing all the barriers. The data's being supplied to the estate agent, so there's some good stuff going on there. Whether or not they can upset the apple cart, time will tell, but they're having a good fist of it. But I don't think portals will disappear. But I do think portals will need to understand that estate agents do not need, right now, they do not need a classified advert to sell a property. So the only reason that the portals exist, and let's talk about the big two, because that's the obvious conversation. Agents are not customers of them on the whole because they want to be. They're customers of them because they feel they have to be. And I don't think that's a very good position for any business to be in, where your consumer base doesn't really want to be with you. They don't want to be working with you. So they're either going to have to innovate, they're going to have to reimagine their financial model, or they're going to have to provide a significant change in value from just being a classified marketing strand. Because the one thing agents do not need is buyer leads. You know as well as I do, I can put a social media post out, put a few quid behind it, do the right hashtags, tag the right people in. I can sell that far quicker than any portal will ever sell it. Markets change. We might be in an instruction-rich buyer or tenant-poor environment at some point. Doesn't seem like we're going to do that for a few years yet. So look, portals are here to stay. I hope the disruptors disrupt. But above all, what I really hope is that the agents grow the belief in themselves and create a unity to be able to push back and just stop a ever-increasing percentage of their revenue going out of the industry into the portal's pockets, because unless that portal is giving them instructions, if the portal can give them instructions, now I appreciate people who say it's not the portal's job. It is, because that's the problem of the estate agents. They don't need buyers or tenants. So if a portal wants its business model to be, but I'll get you 500 buyer inquiries, the estate agents aren't interested, particularly if those buyer inquiries are then under competitive scenarios, i.e. we'll give it to everybody and we'll sell it.
Well, that's what Rightmove and Zoopla do, that where they have the valuation leads, but it's almost a free for all where it's the first person to pick the phone up.
Yeah, so your data,
yep.
You give them your data. Your data, to be fair, through their marketing creates a lead. That lead is then sold to you and your competitors, and also sold to third parties for God knows how many millions. And also you don't share in that revenue. At least the new guys coming in, they're being honest about all of that, but they'll share it with you. They're also creating trigger points where you can get access to the owner. The owner will choose which agent to talk to, but can only choose one or two or something. The agent chooses rather than it just be sold. Sorry, not the agent, the client.
And then the newer ones are certainly having facilities to try and rat people out to get them earlier in the process, so you can talk to them.
Yeah, I think they're...
You know what I mean, the vendors, the house.
Yeah, in an earlier video, we talked about that deep immersive experience where you'd sit down with a client and not just show them what you had for sale, you'd show them what you had listed, what you had valued that was coming on, what you've got in your under offer drawer you're not sure about, what was on but came off. You'd go through an immersive experience with them. Well, to be fair, some of the portals are now, admittedly not the ones that can boast the numbers of viewers or whatever it is that they want, individual hits, the two established guys. But, on the market are getting their act together. And I think Jason's done a very good job there. I wasn't a fan of On the Market, but I can't deny and sit here and say that Jason hasn't positively affected that business, because he absolutely has. Boomin, I think, love or hate the individuals involved at the top of that business, technologically are probably more advanced than all of them. And definitely for those that are embracing and using it correctly, they're getting access to would-be sellers far earlier in the process than they would be through any other portal. And OneDome and all those others are all doing a good job and do what they're doing, and they've all got their nice little bits and pieces. So technologically, these new guys coming into the space are, I think, miles ahead. The problem is the estate agent doesn't want to support 10 different portals. So where that will end, I don't know. We shall have to see. But the one thing for certain for me is that portals need to build relationships, build partnerships, and add value. And most of that value needs to be directed about helping me gain a landlord or a seller. At the moment, and for the foreseeable future, I'm not really interested in your buyer or tenant leads. And they haven't changed their model. And also at the moment, think about it. We've got agents with 3 or 4 properties, but they're paying the same subscription when they had 30 properties. Is that fair? It can't be. It can't be right. The portals are so arrogant that they won't change the model to suit what's actually happening out there. I know why. They've got to protect their profits and their shareholders. I get it. But it does seem unfair that a disproportionate amount of the turnover is disappearing out of the industry. And it's that's robbing the wages. And if the wages go up, all the problems are solved.
Well, we've done that in a separate video, boys and girls, so please check that out on my YouTube channel. And thank you for your time today.
No worries. Thank you, Chris.